Per the request of someone who commented in my comment section, I am making a video on why people play video games. And I was thinking, well, that's pretty gender specific. I don't know if I'm gonna make this. But after doing a little bit of research, it shows that it's actually 50-50. Women and men play just about the same amount of video games as each other. It's just different video games that they play. For instance, men are more likely to play PC or console, such as Xbox or PlayStation, where women are more likely to play mobile games. So I'm gonna start from the more obvious stuff, and I'm gonna trickle down into why I believe we play video games, and one of the main reasons I stopped playing video games. So starting with the beginning, the first point, which is entertainment. We want to be entertained. We like to laugh. We like to have a good time. We like to do these things and be hooked emotionally into a story. But here's the thing, if it gets to be too much, we can just disconnect. We can just shut it off, right? But there is a social aspect to all of this, right? So if you add the competition aspect of this, well, now it really emotionally gets you, but you're also talking with friends. So many young people I know right now get their social interaction through video games. And we've never been more connected, yet still disconnected ever. Like, it's a crazy paradox that's going on. I'll get into that some other time, but there is a social aspect, there's a competitive aspect, there's an emotional aspect to all of this. And we, in the back of our mind, as we're doing it, we know it's not reality. We know it's just for fun. We know we can turn it off anytime that we want. A couple other reasons for playing video games. There's problem solving skills, critical thinking skills that it can help develop and sharpen those. There's also a personal achievement skill. I asked someone, and they're achieving quite a bit. They're playing Skyrim, right? For anyone that knows that game, this guy's playing. I was at a party and I asked, I was like, how many hours do you think you put into Skyrim? And they said 3,000 hours. I was like, whoa, all right, 3,000 hours. I'm like, what did you get out of that? And he thought for me. He's like, I guess nothing. I was like, no, you got stuff. And for the reason, I didn't want to make him feel bad. I was like, well, no, I'm sure you got, the achievement. I probably used different words because I didn't have all this research in the back of my mind, but I'm sure he got the social aspect and the competitive aspect and the emotional aspect. Like, I'm sure all of that was a big, so I didn't want him to think it was a big waste of time or anything, because video games do have a place. They have a place and time, and I'm not saying that they're bad. But let me, and here's the point that I want to look at the most. They're bad for me, and they might be bad for you, so hear me out. I do give ADHD tests quite often. And because I've been doing that, I realize I have ADHD. I'm like, these all look very familiar to me, right? Losing things, losing track of time, unmotivated to get started, all these things. And the truth is, it shouldn't be called ADHD. That's literally the dumbest name they could have given it. And here's why. And I'll make a whole nother video on this, right? So, but let me just recap this. ADHD is nothing more than a dopamine deficiency. And so once I realized that, I was like, so where am I getting my dopamine? Because my brain doesn't create dopamine like a normal brain or an average brain would make. It doesn't make dopamine in as much as a typical brain. So then I started thinking, where am I getting my dopamine? Well, video games is a big one, and that's why you get lost for hours, because you're getting the fix. You are fixing the dopamine deficiency that you're having. So I decided I probably shouldn't be doing this. Now, that's part of it. Part of it is I got family and a career, and I'm trying to do other stuff, so I really don't have as much time. But I know that it's not good for me because I will get lost in it, and I'm old. right? I can't stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning anymore, but I was doing that. And then I got to wake up with my family and I'm exhausted. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I had to stop, right? The other part of it is fantasy, right? There's a fantasy aspect to this. And for instance, back when I was playing Grand Theft Auto 4, because I didn't play a whole lot of 5 and 6, who knows if that's even ever coming out. So, but Grand Theft Auto 4, I landed a helicopter in Times Square. I will never do that in reality. I will never do that in my life, right? I'll never be a mob boss. I'll never have a shootout with cops. Well, but pray to God that I won't. You see what I'm saying, though? There's a fantasy, and I think that this is the number one reason people play video games. Escapism. Escaping from the reality in which we live. I don't know if anyone else is noticing. That's not true. I know everyone's noticing how hard everything is. There's a game I used to play where, and I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want to get roasted too bad, but this game, you could buy a house, you could fix it up, and then you could rent it out. And then with the money you make from there, you buy another house and then another house, and it goes on. And you're making like a couple $1 million every other minute. And then eventually you're making billions of dollars within minutes. You can't do that in reality. In reality, I would have to somehow come up with $400,000 and buy a house in order to, and hopefully the economy is okay and stable enough where people are going to rent this thing and I'm not going to be left with another mortgage. So that escapism, that fantasy that's there, this is what people truly want, right? Like, take Call of Duty. You're not going to be going to war. Well, let me rephrase that. Hopefully, you're not actually going to be doing this in reality. So there is a fantasy aspect to it. And the problem with this, I go back to the guy I talked to with the 3,000 hours. I'm like, where could I be spending this time better in my life? There is definitely a place and time for video games. But if you are hooked, if you have ADHD, if you are literally just trying to escape, your real life is going to get harder and harder because you're not building your character. You're not building your avatar. You're putting all of that energy over here. And that's great until you turn it off. And then you've got nothing to show for it besides a little bit of escapism. And then over here, it's all still hard. And so for me, that is why I stopped, because I'd rather be investing in this reality instead of some other reality and making someone else money type thing, right? So those are my ideas. That is my main point in why we play video games as people, not as a gender or as, anything specific like that. So let me know in the comments why you play video games. If you do, whatever mobile game or console game, why you do it, what you're getting out of it. And based on this video, do you think that you should continue to play as much as you are? Thank you.